Okay, I'm getting ready to go and try out this new church. You never know with these new churches. Sometimes crazy things happen. Trusting it will be good. We'll see what this church is like. Bye. All right. Went to the new church. I didn't know anything. I walked in, and I hadn't had breakfast yet or anything, so I'm like, I wonder if they have any food? And then I'm like, where's the bathroom? And had asked somebody, although the sign said bathroom, and I was walking right towards it. I apparently walked right past it. And then I had to ask somebody where the restroom was, and then they told me. And then I went to go. I saw that they had people kind of lining up for something. I didn't know if we were going into church right there or what. It turns out it was food. They had like coffee and cookies. So I was like, okay, that worked out well. But then I was unclear, like, okay, is this free? Is this not free? Is there a line? Where's the line start? Like, is it a free-for-all? How does it work? Because it was all very confusing and more difficult than you would think. And then got my little half of a cookie and some coffee. And then went to go sit down. And then my old coworker from work, who I haven't seen forever since before COVID, was one of the greeters. So I was like, got to say hi to her. And so that was nice to see somebody I literally have worked with for decades there. And she obviously knows that I'm not a regular at that church. And she's like, and so I told her, I'm like, well, I've been here once before, but I thought I would check it out again today. And then so she gives me the welcome cup and all the new person stuff. Just slightly embarrassing because I always like to slip in and out of church anonymously. But when she gives me the welcome cup, which I appreciate also, then it's like, now it's even more obvious that I'm brand new. And so then we deal with that situation. And then, I didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't ready. I forgot you're supposed to bring money to church. Normally I will bring money. Today I was oblivious. So then I had nothing for the offering. And then also they pass around this book where you're supposed to sign in. I didn't know what this book was. The guy kind of handed it to me, and then I just handed it on to the next person. Then the lady handed it back to me. I think they knew, because she knew I didn't sign it. She knew what it was. And then finally the pastor, who is oblivious, like I'm sitting so far back, he can't see me. He says, to, in essence, sign the book and pass it along or whatever. And it had been sitting by me for a while. So then he eventually signed the book, but I can't read it. It's like pitch black in there, and I can't read I got my contacts on, so I didn't bring my cheaters, and it's so dark, I can't really tell what they're even asking me or where I put what in what line. So I just put my name and my email because it looked kind of like that's a little bit would be appropriate for some of these sections. But I'm like, this is horrific that they're doing this you're in the dark. It was so dark in there. And then I couldn't see a thing. And then and the music was not awesome. But other than that, the pastor was good. I've liked this pastor. Every time I watched him online, I liked him online. And then, even outside when we were walking in, before I had got to the cookie and coffee part, he said hi to me. I think they always recognize when someone new is in the building. No matter how big the church is, they tend to know who the new people are. It just blows my mind. Like, how can they tell? Maybe it's because I had the look of like, I don't know what I'm doing here. But anyway, so he said hello to me, and then I recognized him from watching him online. And then the church sermon was good. And I thought it was cute. There was one part because he was talking about in the Philippians. He talked about being co-workers in Christ or whatever. And I'm like, how weird is that? Because my co-worker is right here. She's the one. We are co-workers in Christ. And there was something else that he said that, it was about new pathways, because I was trying out this new church today, and it's difficult. I don't always love day one of trying out a new church. And or even sometimes the subsequent days of trying out a new church. But I'm doing it. today I'm trying out this new thing. And then that's what the entire message was about. It was about like not getting stuck in your little ruts and doing the same easy thing over and over and over and over and over and over. And, you know, changing the neural pathways and trying something new, doing a new routine. And I'm like, how fitting is that for today, right? That's how God is. Like, everything is like dead on like that. So I thought that was a good message for today. And then I stopped by and talked to my friend again afterwards. And I asked her, I'm like, you know, I haven't seen you for a few years. Like, is it just because of COVID? Now we're all at home, or are you not even there anymore? Like, and she has been gone. She had retired right before COVID. So it's not just that we don't see each other because we're all working from home now. It's we don't see each other because she has left. So it was so nice to bump into her here at church. But anyway, and then I came to the car. So that's the update. Anyway, have a good day. Bye. Hey, sorry, I have my Sunday nap. So I'm usually relatively groggy on Sunday afternoon. And I try to watch, there's so many different churches that I follow, so I try to watch them all on Sunday, and sometimes that's a lot. It's like a lot of screen time, and it makes me very tired. But, and sometimes then I just fall asleep, and then I halfway listen while I'm half asleep, or then I'll go like try to take a real nap, or I'll still be listening. But regardless, I was re-listening the second time to one of them because I fell asleep through it the first time. And the guy was just talking about something about being co-workers in God's service, or co-workers with God's. I don't know the phrase exactly how they say it. It's something I should know. But the point is serving God together with the fellow Christians, co-workers with God's service. How does it go? I don't know. But he said it, and it was very similar to me seeing my co-worker today at that other church, and then the pastor talking about being co-workers. Except for there's a couple different sections of the Bible where they use that terminology. I think one is Corinthians and one is Philippians. Anyway, and then I could be wrong about all of this. I don't actually know. I'm just saying God is doing something weird today. So, and it's extra weird because I alternate between these moments of feeling like the Christians annoy me still, and then God doing things that are so obviously God that it's like, of course you want everyone else to be able to experience that too, but it's like one of the things that annoyed me today was I was listening to the that's the other thing. Genesis keeps coming up. Yesterday I listened to Genesis 1, 2, 3. Today at the church I attended in person, I think they were quoting Genesis 1. And then in this other church I was just talking about, I think he was quoting Genesis 2 or something. It's like, what the heck? All these like repeats, you know, that it just so happened is happening today. But anyway, going back to my point, I had listened to the Bible recap day 2, which was Genesis, I think 4, 5, 6, 7. And I was only halfway listening to it because I was getting ready for church. But then the lady said something about, she was talking about Noah and Noah's Ark. And I'm not trying to judge her. I'm sure I like this lady, the Tara Lee. However, she's a human like the rest of us. And I think sometimes when we put our human mind into like analyzing God, we mess up, right? And she was talking about how Noah was smart and probably just took the smallest of all the animals, like the smallest of the elephants and the smallest of the dinosaurs and the smallest of the hippos, to get them all to fit into the ark or something. And I was just like, eye roll. This is a level of craziness. Only a lifetime, in my judgy mind, only a lifetime Christian would talk like that. Like, oh, he must have just picked the smallest animals and that's how they all fit in. This is the kind of stuff that makes people not want to be a Christian. When you say dumb stuff. It's so dumb. And yet I understand that's a stumbling block for people. Like, these stories in the Bible are so odd. Some of them, right? But I have to just keep it vague. I can't act like I know, or I'm trying to figure out in my human mind, like, how it all worked out. And I don't pretend to be able to tell which parts of the Bible are like a story kind of just generally explaining a general concept, and which parts of the Bible are like literal actual fact, right? I know there are some people who think like every single thing in the Bible is a literal actual fact, but not everybody does think like that. And I'm comfortable with it being blurry, and I'm comfortable with not knowing. And what I was thinking after that was, even if the Noah and Noah's Ark stuff is literal actual fact, we don't have to think in our human brains, like in the physical realm, like how all the animals would fit in there, how we'd get them all in and how they all fit in there, because God was involved and God can do all the things, right? So even like if you just think, I don't want to describe how oh, that's my alarm clock, how I was thinking about it, but hold on one sec. All right. So like God can make all the things fit. God can make all the things appear where they need to appear and fit where they need to fit. And so I don't want to overly worry about it. At the same time, I don't want to make it, I don't want to try to like take a spiritual thing or something God was involved in and try to understand it from my lowly human mind, because I'm going to screw it up, or I'm going to analyze it in some dumb way that's going to turn off somebody else, right? The reality is we don't know, right? And you got to kind of be okay with that with some things in the Bible. But anyway, so that's been the kind of day it was where I was like, I roll in the Christians. And then today, though, God was like doing all of these things where I was just like, God was like being like super obvious about all these things, which is so amazing. I love it that when that happens. So anyway, it has woken me up out of my Sunday sleep, my Sunday nap state, because now I'm like obsessed with thinking about like being the co-workers, right? Serving God together. Anyway, it's so interesting. But hope you're having a good day. Talk to you later. Bye.